let's go ahead and dig into Teach, Heart, Pair, Defend first. It may not be one that you've heard of before, and so I want to share this one with you. It comes from 7 Steps to a Language-Rich Interactive Classroom, which is written by John Seidlitz and Bill Perryman. And I really love this one because I would use this one with the weekly debate podcasts, which are a lot of fun. I looked at the Listenwise podcast, and I love all of them really and truly. And the debate podcasts are fun for me because they're really compelling to students. They're things that kids are going to be really interested in, want to hear. And so I would choose a debate podcast, first of all. And then I would give students an organizer, some type of organizer to take their notes as they're listening. When I first do Teach, Heart, Pair, Defend, I model it as a class. I want them to see what this is going to look like. And then after we've listened to it and we've taken our notes, I'm going to have students dictate to me, and I'm going to write in our T-chart in front of them. This is also going to be a shared writing experience that will become a shared reading experience. And I'm going to show you what this is going to look like, okay? So don't be afraid if you're like, I don't really get what this is coming to. I'm going to show you what this is going to look like. After we've created our T-chart over the podcast that we've listened to, we are going to pair up, and students are going to take a side. They are going to choose a side from our T-chart, and they're going to communicate with one another about the podcast we listened to. Some students are going to read off the T-chart we created as a class, and others are going to elaborate and add more details because everyone's at a different proficiency level, and that's okay. They're all going to be, at their own level of English proficiency. And finally, we're going to switch sides. We're going to, whatever side we had taken initially, we're now going to have to see the other point of view. Okay, so here's what this would look like. Let's say, for example, if we listen to the podcast that was on, should podcasts be regulated? Okay, so as a class, we listened to it, or I had them listen to it individually. Now we make the T-chart together. And as a class, we're going to brainstorm, should podcasts be regulated? On one side, we are going to scribe all of the answers students give me. Now on the other side, on the right-hand side, we're going to list the reasons podcasts should not be regulated. Here's what it might look like. Podcasts should be regulated because some are spreading misinformation. They're getting all of these bullets from the podcast they listen to. And then on the other side, they're going to tell me what to write. They're going to dictate, and I'm going to write these. I like to do it by hand because I want them to see as I write, but some people do it on a computer and type, and that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to pair up, and let's say, for example, Monica is going to be this side of the chart, and I'm going to be this side of the chart, and we are going to have a debate amongst each other. So Monica might start first by saying, Valentina, I think podcasts should be regulated because some are spreading misinformation. And I may say to her, I see your point. However, podcasts should not be regulated because the government should not regulate free speech. See how I'm just reading off the T-chart? Some students will do that and others will elaborate completely. This is in the 7 Steps book, 2nd edition, page 80. I mean, it is fabulous. Students get into it, they get really animated, and then after we complete our debate, Monica and I have to switch sides. All right?
I love it.
I know, it's so much fun.
Yes. Because sometimes the kids are probably thinking, why am I on this side and not that side? So they get that chance to articulate both sides of a debate.
So we start with the listening with the podcast. We move into a shared writing, and then we have them talk. Finally, we can have them write. We can have them go back to their seats now, pick a side. They can listen back to the podcast. They can go back in and listen to the podcast, and now they can write their own response. Pick a side, pick which side you feel you believe in, and write about it. So it's very scaffolded. It's scaffolded listening, it's scaffolded reading, it's scaffolded writing, and listening to their partner as well. So they're getting a double dose of listening here.